All right, happy middle of August. It is another team call. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We've got some good, juicy stuff for you this week. And before we get started with our guest speakers, I want to take a second to talk about all the hoopla that's going on right now with Younique. Today is the day to buy your pre-launch products. In case you didn't know, you can order the new pressed palette shadows in. You can order 2 quads and you can order 2 singles of every single color. So there's a lot of options there. You can also order the exfoliating and the the oil control mattifying masks with the applicator, as well as the new blender brush and the new eye primer. Everything else that's coming out, you have to wait for it until the 1st. But it's a great time to start getting those pre-orders in for the stuff that's coming out. I just want to say that I wasn't sure exactly Boss Babe of the Week, and then today it was just so clear. Anybody that bought pre-order products is a Boss Babe of the Week, because you got to invest in your business. And honestly, we sold over $3,000 in one day, and I am just like overwhelmed. So you guys were awesome. And when I say we sold, I mean we invested in our businesses $3,000 worth, and that's huge. You guys are rock stars, and you deserve that kudos 100%. So I was blown away by that, and I think you guys should really be proud of yourselves for that commitment and getting the new products. So I was proud of you. Okay, so I wanted to invite some of the ladies that went to convention with me on to give you a little bit of their takeaways, what they experienced, what are some of the classes they went to, and just any other highlights that they felt like sharing for how it was. And so let's just go ahead and start with Michelle.
Oh, yay!
Yay, you get to go first.
Well, first of all, I have to say that convention, okay, I've done couple other direct sales companies before, like way back when, and been to a couple other conventions, but the Younique convention is like convention like no other. Right? I mean, I was excited to be there anyway, but to just feel the atmosphere going in and everything, it was crazy, even just at the airport, and meeting up all of the presenters that were on our flight. Our flight was probably 85% presenters. So, and everybody is, when you get there, everybody's helpful. One thing that you need to expect if you ever go is to stand in line and to wait. So prepare yourselves for that, and prepare yourselves with snacks in your bag for during the day. Because there'll be days where you feel like you just don't have time to eat. But I took a lot of my classes for myself. I wanted to focus on parties and sponsoring, because I feel like those are the 2 areas where I needed the help. And I took a full schedule. I did skip one class, the last one. But I took a full schedule just because I felt like I paid the money to go. I wanted to get that information. So, like I say, I did take one class on event planning as well, because I like to do events. So I think one class that I would like focus on for everybody was the social media do's and don'ts class, because I am not a Facebook. I don't know the ins and outs of Facebook, but there's a lot of things you see, and then I'm like, is that, I don't know, should you post that? Should you not post that? How do you word that? And I come to find out that there were some things that I was posting on Facebook that I was not wording the right way, and it kind of sounded salesy or pushy or spammy. And I was like, okay, good to know, because obviously you don't want to do that. So I did go through the class and kind of write down a few. I took notes in my notes so that you guys could get some information. Because some of the things that she taught were like things that I've seen or things that I've done, and I feel like it would help everybody. So the one thing that she said was be real and be who you were before you were unique. So if you're posting, which I fell into this, I was only posting unique and maybe posting one something. So if you were posting about your hobbies and you're going out to eat and whatever before, you should still be doing that along with posting your unique posts. Um, because obviously when somebody, all they see is your unique post, you're gonna be one of those scrollers. They're gonna scroll right past you. Another thing that they said was stand out. Don't do the same thing everybody else is doing. If you see something um, that somebody's done that you really like, you can use that, but put your own spin on it. That's super important, that you want to stand out so that you're not being scrolled by, that people are stopping, you're getting somebody's attention. Which I really liked. And I follow a lot of, they said this too, follow the people that, like Black Status. I think Marie even touched on this. Follow the people that you want to be like. So you want to be Black Status. So if you find Black Status presenters that you really like, you should follow them. And if they do something on Facebook, don't copy it. Do something like it, make it your own, and probably not post it that day. Who knows if they're going to see it or not, but you just don't want to be like that. Facebook is the heart and the face of the business. And that when you're on, like if you have Instagram and Snapchat, Facebook, I don't know, what are the other ones? Pinterest, Google Ads, but any of those that you have for your social media sites, you should use the same profile picture, because then when they click on something, they go, oh, I know her because I've seen her on Facebook and I follow her on Facebook. And I thought, well, that's a really good idea because I don't have that. Mine are all different. So that way they can put, like, when they go to your business page, they know that they are on your business page because it's your profile picture. So that was kind of important. Going live. So there's a couple things they said on this one, and I thought, well, some of our people are like scared to death to go live. And me, I love to go live, and I'm scared to death to do this. I know you guys. So they said, always announce when you're going live, because that way, like say I'm going to be live at, like I usually go on and say I'm going to be live at 9 or in 10 minutes or whatever, however my day's gone. And then make sure that you have good lighting. Always ask for shares. Always ask for shares. And stay interactive. And I know if you don't have a lot of people on, people watching, it's hard to stay interactive. I have that problem. Or I have people I know they're watching, but they don't want to say anything. And so I try to engage them and they still don't say anything. And that's okay, because when people watch the replay, then they'll say something. They're still going to comment. So it's still pushing that live up. So always be interactive, rather there's nobody watching or there's 100 people watching. Be original, be vulnerable, and always share your lives on your business page if you're not on your business page. So, what were some of the other ones? If you have new people on and they like your video, or I had this happen actually at convention. I posted something and I had some new people that liked it. I didn't have a clue who they were. So that night I went back to the hotel room, and it had been all day and I wanted to get connected with them. Finds out 2 of them were presenters, 3 of them were not. So I immediately said, thank you for liking my post. And then I waited the next day, I sent them a friend request. So they're saying if they like your post, if they like your video, whatever, you want to comment, and then go ahead and try to add them as a friend. So that was kind of mainly all. The one thing that really stuck to me, and I see presenters all over the place that use filters. We all use filters to maybe black out the background or write on there or something, but they stress not to use the face filters, like the ones I think one of them has like a beautify where you can smooth your face and thin your face and all that stuff. And they said, this is what they said. And when they said this, I thought, wow, this really kind of hits. be yourself, that one of the best ways to hurt your business is by showing false results with your filters. So that really stuck to me. I was like, wow, and like I say, I don't use filters just because I feel like if we want to be real, we want to be honest, because we want them to trust us, we can't use filters. So when she said that, I was like, that's a good way to put it, because if you use a filter and then you see that person tomorrow, they're going to be like, you don't look like your filtered picture. So you don't want to give that false advertisement. So that's all I have.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. That was some good information. And listen, I use filters, right? So there's no shame in using filters. I just want to add on a little bit to what you were saying, Michelle. But anytime I post a makeup related selfie, I do not use filters. I only use, I'll use filters like if I'm drinking my morning coffee and it's like a picture of me trying to show my coffee or whatever, I might put a filter on it or something like that. But that's just because I like to play around with different textures and different tones, and I like it to look a little different, But so there's no shame in using filters. It's just being very mindful that we're not over promising what a product is going to do for you, say like a foundation results, because you have smoothed your skin with the Beautify filter, right? And then you've gotten rid of all of your imperfections, and now it looks like we've got the most amazing foundation ever, when in reality it's the most amazing filter ever, right? So it's just carrying your business with a lot of integrity, because if you bought something based on an ad and you got it home and it didn't do what the ad said it would do, you'd be very upset, right? So you got to treat your business with a lot of integrity. And I think that that's so right what they were saying. So anyway, I don't use filters at all. And to be honest, you can tell when somebody's using filters. At least I can. To the trained eye, you can see when they're using filters. Yeah, it's obvious. But all right,
I use filters. I use the fun filters as well. I use, fun little filters like that, or if I'm gonna,
or alternate black and white, like that kind.
Like in the hotel room, I took pictures, but I had a messy bed, and so I blurred the background.
Right.
Use the Beautify filter because you just don't want to do that.
Yeah, totally fine. Totally fine to use filters. Just be very mindful when and how you're using them, right? So that we're putting the best foot forward and not false advertising. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Miss Liz has got some things to say about her time and convention. Oh no, she looks frozen. She was primping too, getting ready. Liz? Oh, I see you. There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh gosh, I got nervous. Okay, I took a lot of notes on the class I'm going to talk about, but conventions for me was complete, ever since I got back, I've been boom, 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 knocking stuff out. So if you didn't go and you want to go, I would start making sure that you can go next year, because it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. And I'm going to talk about, I took a class, it's called The Power of Purposeful Leadership, and I kept calling it Purpose of Powerful Leadership, but I understand why it's called The Power of Purposeful Leadership, because when you lead people with a purpose, it makes a difference. And she talked about three main things. It was connect, communicate, and celebrate. And I'm going to talk about each topic individually, because that's what she did. And one of the quotes she posted was, invisible threads are the strongest ties. And I took that as people who watch you but don't comment and they don't like, or they don't do those things, they scroll and they see it and they read whatever it is that you're talking about, but they don't do anything, those are the strongest people that you're going to have with your business. That's what I took it as, because there are people who've been watching me since I started who are slowly coming out of the woodwork wanting to get in with me and talk to me and that kind of thing. And I believe it. I believe that invisible threads are the strongest ties that you have, because there are people that are constantly watching you thinking, oh, is she going to quit? Oh, is she going to stop? Oh, when is she going to leave this thing? When is she going to give it up? And when they realize that you're not, that's when they come to you and they want to talk to you. So the first thing she said with connect, because that was the first word, was that you want to connect with like-minded women. So in that, she said the heart comes first. Touch a heart before you touch their hand. So you want to touch people on a personal level. You want to talk to them and get to know them. You want to be their friend before you become the unique presenter. Like with me, I constantly talk to people. A lot of the people that I talk to are transgender. And that's because those are the people that I connect with. I've always connected with men who recognize themselves as men, but for some reason, I get along with them 10 times more than I do women. And those are the people that I happen to connect with really well on a personal level. Like I can talk to them, or they watch my lives and then they'll message me and want to talk to me about whatever I use and that kind of thing. But it's those people, I get to know them before I start talking to them about Younique and what I do for a living. And then connect to the company's vision was the next thing she talked about, because the company's mission is to uplift, empower, and validate women. I mean, you need to connect with their mission to uplift everybody. So when you're following another, like when we're all friends with Marie on Facebook, so connecting with Marie is really important to uplift her and validate her. Empower and validate her is really important. So when Marie posts something, I always like it. When Marie posts something, normally I comment on it depending on what it is, because Marie's my sponsor. I want her to be successful, and she's the first person I brought in here, and she's always doing that for me. I want to do the same thing for her. And then the Younique Foundation, you have to find some way to connect with it, because the Younique Foundation means a lot to Younique as a company. It wasn't started when Younique started, but that's 90% of the women I met at convention, they're here because of the foundation. They're not here because of the makeup. They're here because of the foundation, because the makeup we're not selling makeup, we're selling confidence, and we're selling things to women to help boost their confidence and make them feel like they can walk out into the world and be like, yeah, look at me, I'm awesome. And then focusing on the foundations, they're changing lives for abused women and helping them to heal. And 1 in 4 is that's a big number. So if you think about it, 1 in 4 women were abused as children, right? So 1 in 4 of the women that you talk to have probably been through some kind of abuse. And that's like, if you're open about talking about whatever you've been through, if you've been through something, maybe that can be your way of connecting with somebody, whether it's somebody on the team, or it's somebody that you talk to on a regular basis, or it's somebody new who your network has just expanded to. And then this is kind of a thing I'm going to let you figure out on your own. And she asked, do you know why this company was started? I didn't know the answer when I got to convention. I had no idea. I didn't know why the company was started. I didn't know that Derek was a millionaire before he started the company and then gave all that up to start Younique. I didn't know that. So I'm going to let y'all figure that out. I'm not going to give you that answer. And then she talked about connecting to a team vision. And Marie we're all a team with Marie. That's why we come here every week. That's why you watch the replay if you're watching the replay. And connecting as a team on a team level is really, really important, because as a team, we make things happen, because as a team, you can do 10 times more things than you can by yourself. And had I not gone to this class, I probably would have been like, yeah, you're freaking nuts, because it's not true. But I'll get to that later. And she talked about a team, we're a family. So, and as a family, we all have our flaws. We all have the things that we don't like about each other. We all have those things where like, oh my gosh, here she goes again, that kind of thing. but that's okay. As a team, the team page or team chat, if we start one, is a place where we all love each other. We all want each other to be successful. We all want good things for each other. And we love each other and we uplift each other. We empower each other. And it's a place where we all belong. We all belong here because we're part of this team. And you can be honest. If you don't like something, you can say it. You can be confused. Because if you're confused, that doesn't mean that somebody else isn't confused about the same thing that you're confused about. It's okay to be confused and to not understand, because this is where we all go to figure out what's going on so that we're not confused anymore. And it's a place where you're allowed to be who you are. Because who we are as people, I mean, as a team, we understand we're all different people. We all come from different places and we all have different things that we're afraid to be and different things that we're afraid to do. And as a team, we're supposed to support each other so we can come away from those things and to embrace the things like who we are inside. Like, I'm freaking weird. I'm weird. I'm a nut. I will honestly say it, because I have different things that I do that people are like, what is she doing? That's weird. That's not normal. But to me, it's normal. It's normal for me to randomly talk in accents and randomly just do random things that are stupid that most people don't do, but that's just who I am. But as a team, if we connect to each other as a team, we're going to do 10 times more than we would if we would try and do it by ourselves. And then she talked about a 10-day challenge where, so if Marie were to do this for the team page, say it was me, Michelle, Amber, and Susan, because we're all here on the call, say the 4 of us were part of a team. We would post a collage in the group of our team and say, oh, look, we're this team, we're together. And then there's like 3 or 4 or 5 other groups of 4 people, right? And every day for 10 days, she would give us a challenge, right? So, and if you're a team, there's 4 people on this team. So say 3 of those people are doing these challenges every day. So one day, say there's a challenge to go live and one of us is really afraid to go live. Well, you can't post that you're done your challenge until that 4th person does this challenge, right? So if there's 3 other people that are rooting you on and saying, you can do it, we know you can do this, we'll be there, we'll watch you when you're going to do it, and you support them, that 4th person is going to have that pressure of those other 3 people to do this, and they're going to do it, aren't they? Yeah. They're going to do it, which means that then all 4 of you have done it. All 4 of you have done it. Okay, you're going to go shout out your team. We're done. We've done it. My team has accomplished something today because we're awesome. This is what we do because we're a team. We work together. We accomplish things, right? And then, say at the end of this challenge, we all 4 of the people on whatever team accomplishes the most gets this, something or other. Then that's an incentive to do it, but that's also a way to get people to get out of their shell and that kind of thing. And I thought the challenge I think it's a really good idea. Like, you can use it on your team page. Marie could do it. Anybody could do it. It could be single people, but when you have a team and it's like 3 different groups of 4 or whatever groups of 4, and you have the pressure from those other people to help you break out of your shell, and it'll also help every one of you to succeed in different ways. And then she had a quote, the most important things in life are the connections you make with others. And the connections that you make with others, that makes our business, right? You connect with all these different people, whether it's your team or your customers, right? If you connect with people, that's the most important thing. If you don't connect with somebody and they purchase from you, what do you have? What do you have with them other than your business? Why are you going to go talk to them other than to say, hey, are you going to buy this again? Nobody wants to talk to you about buying things because that's no, just no. Like, if I bought something from them and then that was the only thing they talked to me about, I don't want to talk to them. Sorry, bye. And then she talked about connecting with Y sisters, which I used to get really frustrated with this because I used to have a lot of Y sisters as friends, and I still do. I don't see their posts as often, but now I am, because I've found them again so that I could create relationships with them, because those are the people that I want to go to and I want to talk to them and I want to get information from them, because if I don't know something and you guys don't know something, maybe they do, right? And it's one of those things, if you're friends with other Y sisters, commenting and liking on their posts helps boost it, because if I'm scrolling through Facebook, I know that if something has like 20 likes and I like it, I'm probably more likely to like it when there's more likes on it. than I would be if there were only 1 or 2. And that's me. If there's only 1 or 2, I'm like, whatever, and I keep scrolling. But if there's like 20, I'm like, I want to be one of those people, and I like it. And she said, why I unique? So why are you still here? If you're not helping other Y sisters to be successful, and you're not helping other women to be successful or praising them or being really excited because of their accomplishments, why are you part of Unique? I mean, that's part of our mission and our vision. So why are you here? Why are you doing this? And what are you doing here? Are you just here for your own benefit? Are you here because of the foundation? You have to ask yourself that. I can't answer it for you. Then she talked about Fired Up Chats, which is, it's a place outside of the group on Facebook where you can go for help. And a lot of the classes I took talked about chats that you have, whether it's through Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever. But chats are like, I think every single class I went to talked about having chats for different people. So like a chat for leaders, a chat for this, a chat for new people, a chat, like there's so many different chats that you could have. It blew my mind. And then she moved on to community. And community is, it's not just one thing, it's literally everything. So the community that you're creating in your team and the community that you create on your personal pages, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or both or everything or Snapchat or whatever. A quote that she had was, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, which is, it says a lot because you're creating a family atmosphere, you're creating collaborative partners, whether you realize it or not. If you have chats and people connect with each other, those people are going to constantly go to each other for different things that they need. Third-party resources, if you have chats, then not only are we going to our direct sponsor, you're going to other people in the group. So those are third-party people that you can talk to about your problems if you find anything. When I first started, if Marie wouldn't answer and I needed an answer, I'd go to Sherry because Sherry would answer me. If Marie wouldn't answer, I'd go to Julia because Julia usually knew or she was able to figure it out. It's the third party things. And then there's committed support and servant leadership. Committed support is really important because we're all committed to what we're doing here. And if you're committed to this, you're committed to helping others because whether you're succeeding or somebody else is succeeding, seeing that person succeed is an amazing thing. I've been watching this transgender. She got approved 2 months ago to take the medications, and she has gone from being this person who looked super upset or confused about who she was to being this super confident woman in 2 months. 2 months, that blows my mind. Like just the difference it makes. Then she talked about like when you create this community and you have that kind of team, if you work with your best friend, you're happy. So why wouldn't you be happy if you're working with somebody that you connected with and you really liked them, right? And as a leader, you don't, and you probably shouldn't have all the answers. So all of us think that Marie and Jennifer know everything, right? And this isn't anything against Marie or Jennifer, but they probably don't know everything because none of us know everything, right? So if we make those different connections and you as a leader facilitate those connections to third parties and different people, that makes you that much better of a leader because if you don't know the answer, you're saying, I know where you can find the answer. So you're helping them to develop, you're helping your team develop and be able to grow so that you can grow. And if you lead your team that way, then you'll grow faster because as a team together, you can do 10 times more than you can by yourself. And great leaders facilitate collaboration. Julia and I, when we first started doing events together, we skyrocketed the amount of things that we could do. We went from being like scratching at the walls to try and get up there to, oh, we can just walk up the wall, no problem. And then she also talked about a leaders chat where everybody who has a team under them is part of this chat, and it's probably going to annoy the crap out of you because you're going to get messages after messages because it's a place where you want leaders to go and you want leaders to be born, really good leaders, so that they can get questions answered, they can ask questions, they can find out information from other girls who have been successful in things, so that they can be successful. So if we work together, we grow. And then she said all chats can and will maximize your strength and minimize your weaknesses. So she did this activity where she gave four of the girls on her team a paper, and they folded it. She had them stand back to back, so they were all facing outwards of each other. There were four of them, and they took the paper, and she said, okay, I want you to fold it in half. And then she told them to fold it in half again, and she told them to do it like 4 or 5 times. And then she told them to rip part of the paper out, right? And then they unfolded the paper and all stood in a line and showed us the paper. And every single paper had a different place where the holes were, because they were told to just fold it in half. They weren't told how. So they all took it a different way. So everybody had different holes. Some of them were bigger, some of them were smaller. And they all looked different because everybody knew different. Everybody has different knowledge. Everybody knows differently. So if you were to put those 4 papers on top of each other, this girl might know what this girl doesn't. This girl might know what this girl doesn't. And this girl might know this that everybody else doesn't know. So creating a team where everybody talks to each other and collaborates, you're all going to learn from each other and get all of this information from each other that you wouldn't get by yourself or just with one other person or 2 other people. You can't do anything of great value alone. She talked a lot about not being able to do things on your own because you can't. I mean, you could try, but you're not going to achieve what you would achieve with a team. And then she did an activity with pencils. So she gave it to her. She said, break it. You can break one single pencil really easily. It just snaps, right? Everybody's done it. But then she handed her a bundle of pencils. It was this big, it was probably like this big around. And she said, break it. And she couldn't break it. Because as a team, those pencils were protected. They were strong. They had each other for support. And together, they were able to keep each other from breaking and falling apart into little pieces that we had to put back together. And then she took that one pencil that was broken, right? Because most people that join this company, something is going on where they need to feel like they need to be put back together. So she put that broken pencil back in there and said, break it. And it didn't come apart because it now had that whole team protecting it and keeping it together. I starred this note because I thought it was really important. I wrote, don't block your team from your upline. Let them get to her, ask her questions, go to her for guidance if they need help. If you need help, go to her for guidance. If one of your girls is like legit on point for something and she's really good at it, go to her. Ask her to do this, ask her to do that, ask her to do things, because recognizing people is really important. And just love your team. Love them for everything that they do, because your team without your team, you wouldn't be able to be where you are. And your team provides a really good bench. She had one woman come up and talk about how her team had done so much for her. February is the shortest month of the year, right? Your team should be good enough to love you and help you when you're having really hard times. So this woman, she worked really hard the first couple days of the month, right? And then she had to go into surgery, and she was in the hospital for the rest of the month. And she was shooting for purple that month. And her team, she worked really hard for the first like 6 or 7 days. And her team worked really hard for the first every day of that month, her goal. And by the end of the month, she reached purple. And that blew me, just knowing that she had a team that would do that for her, that would work that hard for her. But then when I thought about it, I was like, well, if something ever happened to Marie, I would do that for her. I would work my butt off to make sure that she got what she wanted, because that's what we're here for. We're here to uplift each other and to empower each other and make sure that we all reach our goals and do what we need to do, because we're a team. And then she said, anytime you talk about me, it's like a disease. And when we talk about we, we is what you need, because we as a team can do many things, but me alone, I can't do much. Nope. Bye. I'll probably be gone if it was just me by myself doing things. Without everybody on the team, none of my questions would get answered. I wouldn't know anything. I promise I'm almost done. And then she talked about celebrate everything. Even the littlest things, from the littlest things to the biggest things, celebrate it. Anything that you can celebrate, whether it's somebody's birthday, whether somebody did this, like somebody had a glass of wine. Woohoo! You had the first glass of wine. Like, I think it's awesome. And she said, we all know that it feels amazing when somebody shouts you out. I mean, whenever I make the $500 club, I'm like, oh, look, I got called out on Facebook. It makes me really happy because I accomplished something. I feel awesome. And you all, if I'm the only one, I'm sorry, but I know that everybody else who gets shouted out for qualifying, for hitting the $500 club, for hitting the 1,000 club, like, I feel amazing when I hit them. Amazing, because I get shouted out and other people see that I'm doing really well. I don't shout myself out. I shout everybody else out. Like that, after I took this class, I shouted one of the girls I'm friends with on Facebook. She's been a dancer forever. I've known her forever. I went to college with her. And she finally auditioned for a team to dance for like a sports team. And she made it. And I was like, boom, done. So after the class, I took the picture she posted and I posted and was like, oh my gosh, this girl shot for her dreams. She shot for the stars. She made it. She's finally done it. I hope everybody goes to one of these games to see her dance because she's amazing. And that's what I get. I mean, train yourself to celebrate the success of others, because when you celebrate other people instead of always celebrating yourself, a lot of people will notice that. And a lot of people see that as something super awesome and a person that they want to be friends with. Because when you talk about other people 90% of the time and yourself 10% of the time, people are going to want to be friends with you because you're not talking about yourself all the time. You're talking about other people. And that's something that people see as, oh, I want her to talk about me. It's like a reward type thing. I mean, that's how I would see it. If somebody that I follow on Instagram that I followed for like 10 years shouted me out, I think I might cry a little bit. I mean, the day Jennifer Hagenmeyer called me out on one of her lives, I was like dying. I had to call my husband and be like, honey, this just happened. Because I was so excited because I put her up there on this pedestal up here, right? And she called me out. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. So, and then she said, if you keep watering those seeds, one day they're going to grow to see themselves how you see them. So one of the really important things that I took from this is if you take each one of the people that are on your team and you see them way up here on this really high pedestal, they're going to want to see themselves on that pedestal one day. So they're going to work really hard to make sure that they get there because they value you in some way if they're on your team. And they want you to constantly see them on that pedestal so that as they keep growing and growing and growing and getting up there, they're going to one day be there with you, right? And that's what you want. You want these seeds that you're planting to be those people that you're constantly watering and constantly saying, oh my gosh, you did this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited you did this. Oh, so-and-so signed up. Oh my gosh, so-and-so had their first sale. Oh, you hit white status. Yes, that's so exciting. Like those things, I mean, I eat it up. That when I get shouted out for those things, I'm like, give me more, I want more, I want people to see my name out there, right? So, and when you can bring a broken person onto your team and you can help that broken person to take that ride and to develop and be bigger and better and 10 times better than they were before, it makes all the difference. I put like 20 of those little explosive emojis in my notes because I really liked it, because when you bring these people on who they don't think they can do it or they're really nervous about doing it and then they finally do it, that's exciting. You're seeing these people develop from these really introverted person to this really outgoing, crazy, like, like I'm weird. I jumped right in and went boom. But looking at my first live compared to how I am now, I'm amazed at what's happened to my confidence. I can see it in my face. I can see it in the way I talk, everything. So when you think about it, just seeing the growth in people is amazing. And then it's never if you influence others, it's how you influence. It doesn't matter who you influence, it doesn't matter what you're influencing, it matters if you influence them. So lift these people up that follow you, that are on your team, everything. Your team, I mean, this is mostly about your team, but I can see it in other people if you use it for your main profile versus your team. Just lift them up and praise them and make them feel really good about themselves, because that's what's gonna make you the person that people are gonna want to be around. So boom, done.
Hashtag boom done. Thank you, Liz. You did take a lot of notes. So, all right, I went to that class too, and I just want to round this out really quick. These are 2 points that I took from that. To me, leadership is not about I, it's about we. And it's about how can we grow something together. I will never be orange status unless there's one of you that is ready to run for green. So I'm pining for that. It's like mining for gold. I'm reaching out to you guys. I'm going down deep, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels deep, to every single person on this team to help you find your path. This is not about me getting to orange. This is about you getting to green, and then what will be a byproduct of that is me getting orange. And that is just a very nice perk after celebrating your success, okay? So it really is about building up people from the ground up. Everybody starts at 0. Everybody comes in not knowing anything about this business, and it is our job as a team and as a community to build one another up and really create this culture of family and of loyalty and of love. And that's what I see as the vision for the Glam Squad. And then just for all my leaders out there that have at least 1 or 2 people on your team, this quote is the one that just like has been stuck with me. And she says, leadership is about relationships. He who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk. Okay? He who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk. If people aren't following you, then you will never, never be a leader. Okay? You have to be the kind of person that people want to follow. And how do you do that? You walk with intention. You live your life the way a leader should, right? You can't be talking in the background negatively about other team members. You can't be, trashing people and negative, because nobody wants to follow that. Nobody's going to put you up on a pedestal and say, oh, look how amazing this person is, when you're being catty and being negative and being a Debbie Downer. All right? So lead with the kind of spirit that a leader would, right? Always staying positive, always uplifting, being the kind of person that people want to follow. That's what real leadership is, right? And it's not just with your team. Like Liz said, it's what you're doing every day in your whole life. You're not just uplifting your team. You're uplifting your neighbors. You're uplifting your kids. You're uplifting the people that you work with, because it's embedded inside of you, right? It's not an act. It's not something we're doing temporarily, all right? That's what I wanted to add to that. And it's 9:20. This was a long team call, but we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Liz and Michelle, you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming to convention and taking those wonderful notes and coming back and giving it to the peoples. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on, and I will see y'all next week.